Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV. Welcome to another 5 talking points video after our 3-2 win over Derby. And you guys, there's a lot of interesting talking points from this game, and to be honest, I honestly could have done a 10 talking points video, but I'd be here all day. I really want to try and focus things down, but in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Andreas Christensen and why it seems that Sarri doesn't favour him that much. I'm going to be talking about Loftus-Cheek's versatility. I'm going to be talking about CESC Fabregas and why his performance last night was pretty divisive. I'm going to be talking about Mason Mount and Tomori, and to end things off, I'm going to be talking about Frank Lampard and whether this guy could possibly manage us in the future. But you guys, before I get straight into things, thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring me today. If you guys want to help me out and support what I do, in the link in the description below, please click on that and download the app. As you guys can see beside me, here are some statistics from the game yesterday, and this is why OneFootball is the perfect app for every football fan. But anyway, you guys, getting straight into things, starting with the first talking point, that's in regards to Andreas Christensen, and what is he doing that Sarri just isn't liking? Now with Christensen right now, he just doesn't seem too happy. His dad came out talking about the fact that they will be reassessing and re-evaluating things come the January window if Christensen's situation hasn't improved. One thing I can tell you guys now is that Borussia Dortmund have made an inquiry about Christensen, just asking about his availability. So clubs are already monitoring Christensen. But getting back to the point, and if you guys remember from live streams where I've had Joe Tweedy and Sue the Plug, they spoke about the fact that it's Christensen's lack of physicality that seems to be putting off Sarri. Now, that game last night where Christensen played, it was a pretty interesting game from him, and I was seeing a lot of things that Christensen was doing that he just normally doesn't do, and that's the fact that he kept sliding for tackles. He looks really aggressive as well, and credit to Christensen, that's probably him trying to show Sarri, you know what, I am more versatile than you do think, I can adapt and I can become that defender that you do like. But that's not the only thing that's putting off Sarri when it comes to Christensen, and that's the fact that Christensen isn't really a playmaker type of defender. He's not someone that is going to start attacks with his passes from deep. And of course, when you have Rudiger and Luiz, and you are deputizing to those two, you know, you are going to have a bit of responsibility on your hands in terms of being that creative influence out from the back. But Christensen just isn't that type of defender. Christensen is a defender that likes to carry the ball out from his own half and advance into the opposition's area. He's a bit similar to guys like Frankie de Jong and De Ligt from Ajax, and it's about carrying the ball into midfield. I mean, just look at his highlight clips during his time at Borussia Mönchengladbach. He constantly kept doing this all the time. Look at some of the goals he scored where he was able to actually advance with the ball. Now, why can't we do that at Chelsea? Well, if we did do that, that would mean that a midfield player would need to cover him and drop back into position. But Sarri just doesn't want us to play like that. Another thing that's not really helping Christensen as well is that he's always playing alongside Gary Cahill, and Gary Cahill just really isn't a Sarri defender. So in that sense, his performances are always going to be bottlenecks. What Christensen really needs is a Luiz or Rudiger beside him. And Christensen is in that sticky situation because, you know, for him to adapt into the role that Sarri wants, he has to play more, but Sarri just isn't giving him that time. So how is he going to be able to improve and show Sarri what he can do? It's that chicken and egg situation, but it gets you thinking, can we afford to lose Christensen? And in my opinion, we just can't. Now try and look into the future of football. Look at clubs like Barcelona, Juventus, Bayern Munich for example. They've got aging defences. Look at guys like Chiellini, PK, Hummels, Boateng, etc, etc. This means that those clubs will be in the market for players like Christensen, and they are going to be at a high premium. And if they were to sign someone like Christensen, he is going to future-proof their defence, and he is going to be a long-term investment for those clubs, and he's going to strengthen them. And can we be in a position where we can strengthen our league rivals and European rivals? Of course not. Now, in my opinion, there is one solution I think that Sarri could do. It's a pretty easy one, and he just needs to rotate more. Now, before people start to panic, look at what Pep Guardiola is doing at Man City. Look at how he rotates between Stones, Otamendi, Kompany, and Laporte. They all get consistent game time, and they're not weaker because of that. And for Chelsea to keep Christensen, we're going to have to play him. And honestly, I think that he should be rotating with Rudiger. And I think that Sarri needs to think about the long-term plan as well. I mean, let's be serious. it's not as if Christensen isn't going to be improving in the future. So let's hope that Sarri isn't going to be too short-sighted. But you guys in the comment section below, do you think that we can afford to lose Christensen? Moving on to the second talking point, and that's in regards to CESC Fabregas and his performance last night against Derby. Now, this was a very interesting point, and I was talking about CESC in yesterday's match review. Now, yes, you know, I do understand that Mason Mount did have that man-marking job on CESC Fabregas, but let's be serious, it's not the first time that opposition teams have used that similar tactic against our registas. Now, to counter this, what CESC was doing was he was taking up more advanced positions, and because he did that, he wasn't necessarily helping out our defence. Now, I can understand his mindset. He must be thinking, well, you know, if it's Christensen and Cahill, they should be good enough if they're playing for Chelsea to still make do without that. But when you can see that they are being pretty sloppy on the ball, if you're moving up the pitch, that's going to put more responsibility on them, meaning that they are going to look more error prone. And normally when this happens to Jorginho, he still sticks to the system, because someone like Kante or Kovacic will just drop deeper and become that passing outlet. Now, earlier today, CESC did come out stating that he does need to improve defensively, and he wishes that he could improve in this when he was much younger. But interestingly, he also said that, you know, he does kind of wish that he could play in a much more advanced position, and he brought up the point that when we were playing against Liverpool during that final 15 minutes, he felt that if he was brought on and he did play higher up, he would have helped the team keep the ball in Liverpool's half even more, and they wouldn't be as susceptible to the counter-attack. And let's be serious, you know, he's probably right, because that's what CESC can do. But still, you know, yesterday, it was the first time that our second string team came up against an opposition that pressed them high, and they clearly struggled at times. But there is context to this, and that's the fact that it's not as if these guys are playing together week in, week out, or playing as much consistently, so it's kind of understandable that there will be mistakes and the team will look a bit disjointed. But maybe there could be a creative solution to this. Maybe if we are going to be playing against teams that are going to press us high, maybe Kovacic could be the guy to play in that Jorginho role, and then you just have CESC playing in Kova's position. Let's be serious, Kovacic is better defensively, and he's very good at pressing, and when you look at what Jorginho does start our pressing, and it's not as if CESC Fabregas is going to provide that same outlet, but I think that Kovacic could be the guy that could do that. As I'm saying, if we are going to be playing teams that are going to press us high, Kovacic could be that creative solution. And that's because, you guys, you know, we do play out from the back. That's how we create our chances. And the moment that becomes disrupted and we struggle to play out from the back, that's when opposition teams are going to create those counter-attacking chances, and we are going to struggle. Of course, more context is the fact that, you know, if Luiz or Rudiger was playing yesterday for the first 70 minutes, that would help. And let's be serious, when Luiz did come on, you know, we did improve from playing out from the back for a while. But you guys, in the comment section below, what do you think should happen? Do you think that CESC should continue to play that Jorginho role, or do you think that Sarri should experiment and look to use Kovacic there as well? Moving on to the third talking point, that's in regards to Loftus-Cheek and his versatility. Now, let's be serious, Ruben has definitely improved his overall game, and I think that spending that time at Crystal Palace has definitely helped him. Now, at Palace, you know, he was being used in that Koke type of role, and what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that he was kind of playing as like the advanced playmaker that does play out wide, like that wide midfield player, and while he was playing there, that meant that he was regularly able to receive the ball out wide, but he was also able to drift in field as well, and play in the half space at times as well. And the reason why I'm saying that it's clear that Ruben's improved his overall game was because during times when Conte was in charge or Mourinho was there and he was being used out of position, he definitely struggled. He looked lost tactically as well, and he really wasn't able to show what he can really do. But Ruben has shown so far that if you use this guy out of position, he's still going to provide that same attacking outlet. And yes, I know that Maloney's only a championship left back, but Ruben still played very well against him. He wasn't able to handle him at all. And when you look at Ruben's overall game, you're thinking, my God, this guy's a player. And this is why I continuously kept referencing guys like Goretzka and Milinkovic-Savic, because, you know, all three of these players are pretty similar stylistically. And when you look at what they can all do, you know, they can drive with the ball, they can start attacks, they can score, they can win their 50-50s, they've got great first touches, they're press resistant as well. It really makes you wonder, wow, Ruben can become a fantastic midfield player, and it's great to see that he's developing so well this season. In my opinion, I still think the number 8 is his best position, but it's nice to know that he can still benefit the team due to his versatility. But Sarri has shown that, he is right. And as I've kept stressing to you guys, the reason as to why Ruben's been struggling tactically is because he hasn't been playing in central midfield for how many years, so it is understandable. And he's barely played any football, given that he is 22 years old. So that's definitely going to come. He's definitely going to improve under Sarri. And honestly, you guys, it's really exciting to see the future of his development. You guys, moving on to the fourth talking point, that's in regards to Tomori and Mason Mount. How did these guys perform yesterday? Did they impress Sarri? Now, when it comes to Tomori, yes, he made a very unfortunate mistake, but I definitely think that as the game went on and once his nerves calmed down and he didn't panic as much, he looked very, very assured in defence. I mean, his recovery pace was there to see, his positioning, very calm on the board as well. And it's no surprise that Derby County fans have really taken to this guy a lot. Now, moving on to Mason Mount, and did he pass Sarri's audition? And to be honest, you guys, I think Mason Mount was very, very impressive. And the area in which he was very impressive was his tactical intelligence. And that's definitely going to be something that Sarri definitely took note of and he's going to be very excited about. Now, Mason Mount's responsibility last night was to actually press CESC and man mark him, and he did a very, very good job. He did it so well, in fact, that CESC actually wasn't fulfilling the tactical duties of the team. He kept pushing up, and by doing this really helped Derby with their high pressing. It was great to see how Mason Mount was very good at pressing high. He was finding very intelligent positions as well. Very decisive as well. I mean, he got the assist for that second equaliser. Sarri must be thinking, wow, this guy is 19 years old and look how sophisticated he is already tactically. I mean, let's be serious, if you told Ruben to mark out someone in the game, would he be able to do that? Most likely not. Mason Mount himself came out earlier stating that, next season he does want to return to Chelsea and he does want to try and force himself into the team. And honestly, the guy is a fantastic player. He can play in the half space, he presses high, he works hard for the team, very intelligent tactically, he scores some set pieces from outside the box, he gets you those really important goals that get you 3 points and win you games. The guy has a big future, and it brings up that point again, in regards to Kovacic. Do we need to sign him at the end of the season when you have guys like Mount, Ruben and Barkley? It's interesting, and I think as the season goes on, that's when we're going to get our answers. And moving on to the final point for today's video, that's in regards to Frank Lampard and Jody Morris and whether there's a possibility we just saw the future managers of Chelsea. Well, the first thing that needs to be addressed is that Lampard and Morris got their tactics on point. And it really makes you wonder, if they were blessed with better individual players in certain areas, I mean, they probably could have won this game pretty convincingly. The 2 goals that Derby did score, they were a clear indication that they understood how to exploit us, where our weak areas were, and that's how they were able to get 2 really good goals. And when you look at the goals we scored, I mean, 2 came from own goals, and the 3rd one was pretty dubious as well, because let's be serious, it should have been a foul from Zappacosta out by the touchline, and Carson did really poorly with that shot from Fabregas. But you can see how much Derby really caused us issues. They caused us so many issues, in fact, that Sarri was forced to have to bring on guys like Luis, Azpilicueta and Pedro, and that's because their high pressing was really causing us a lot of issues and we were really struggling to play out from the back at times. And it's like, Lampard and Morris are working with a championship team and they're causing us so many issues, and it just makes you think, I mean, in the future, they easily could be future managers at Chelsea. When you look at how Derby play and how sophisticated they are tactically, they already look like a Premier League side, and the reason why they're 6th so far in the Championship is that they have been finding it hard against teams that do park the bus. But their game plan was fantastic last night. I mean, they were the better team, I have to be honest, and it's going to be really exciting to see what happens with Derby this season. I'm hoping that they do get promoted because I'd love to see what they do in the Premier League. But you guys, that's going to be the end for today's 5 talking points video. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm NiniFC. This is Blue Lions TV. Signing out.